Hi guys, welcome back to Sally's Take. I've recently finished binge watching Anne with an E, all 3 seasons back to back, and I'm very much obsessed with it. It's a series set in 1896 following a young Anne who was mistakenly adopted by Matthew and Marilla Cuthbert, 2 elder and celibate siblings who own the ancestral farm of Green Gables, which is in the countryside of Canada. The siblings originally wanted a boy to help up with the farm work, but Anne eventually convinced them with her bright and imaginative nature to let her stay. However, that was only the beginning of her journey, as she is constantly haunted by the trauma she experienced from being in an orphanage and from her past abusive adoptive family. Anne also struggles to fit in the small-town society because of her talkativeness and her orphan status. One of the things that sparked my curiosity was the beauty standards, specifically the topic of Anne's red hair. Right from the first episode, Anne was very insecure about her hair color, and she was later bullied for it in school. Upon further research, there are actually multiple reasons why redheads are despised. Number 1, redheads are rare. They only make 1 to 2% of the population. So in Anne with an E, I feel like her hair color further emphasizes her otherness and sets her apart from everyone else in the town who was blonde or brunette. She is obviously a unique character, and having an appearance to match that is a good choice. Redhead's association with evilness. So when you think of red, you think of it as a color of hell, danger, temptation, sensuality, lust, the devil, blood, just to name a few maybe. So there are actually many negative supernatural connotations towards redheads in different cultures, but I'm going to be focusing on redheads in Christianity. From the 16th to 19th century, there has been rumors and associations of redheads being untrustworthy, a witch, a vampire, or depicted as overly sensual creatures in Christian figures. For example, Michelangelo's painting of the fall and expulsion from the Garden of Eden shows Eve as a brunette at first. But after she had sinned, eating the apple and inviting Adam to eat the apple, she was subtly painted as a redhead. Another biblical figure that reinforces bad stereotypes of redheads is Judas Iscariot, who is known for being the betrayer of Jesus, and he is also a redhead. Therefore, redheads are often linked with satanic practices and witchcraft. In the Middle Ages, 40,000 to 60,000 people were sentenced to terrifying deaths for being a witch. Most of the victims are women. Redheads in particular are often the target of suspicion and persecution as well. Red hair and the Vikings. In Northern Europe, red hair is thought to come from the Vikings from Norway, and the red hair genes are spreaded to the mainland most prominently in Scotland and Ireland. In Norse mythology, the hot-headed god Thor is not Chris Hemsworth with a dirty blonde hair, but Thor is originally a redhead. Viking translates to the word pirate or raiders, and they were kind of stereotyped as savages, crude, and tough warriors at the time. So it doesn't come as a surprise that the Vikings and their red hair will have a notorious reputation. This may help explain why redheads have such a bad reputation, especially in European countries. And it could be also why Anne was hated for it. In the show, she resented her hair to the point where she wanted to cover it up with a bunch of ribbons, and even tried to dye it, which we will be talking about it later. But what is surprising and sad is no one ever tried comforting Anne by saying she's pretty in her own way. Marilla told Anne to not care about her appearance because there are other more important things in life. Anne's best friend Diana told her that she wished to be smart rather than beautiful, like Anne. Although those are well-intended encouragement, it clearly did not comfort Anne. I was really hoping that more people would compliment Anne's hair and make her realize that beauty is really in the eyes of a beholder, but that rarely happens. Anne's insecurity kept growing until she decided to dye her hair. The process went completely wrong, and she looked exactly like me when I decided to dye my hair 4 different colors in a year. Basically, her hair looked like dead grass, which is not cute. Anne unfortunately had to cut off most of her hair and sported a cute pixie cut. What I think is interesting though is when Anne stated that she'd rather have red hair than having short hair like a boy. Because as she predicted, the next day, her classmates made fun of her, and her sadistic teacher even humiliated Anne further by asking if she wanted to sit with the boys now that her hair is short. So hair's beauty standards are kind of tied with gender, and girls are seen as prettier if they have long hair, while boys are more handsome if they have short hair. Anything that is different is perceived as bad or ugly. A lot of people may think, what's the big deal? It's just hair. But so many people are bullied and discriminated against because of their hair. Hair, like other physical appearance, is tied to beauty, identity, self-appreciation, culture, race, history, and prejudice against certain type of people. For example, if you're a redhead and you live in the Middle Ages, you might get burned at a stake or being suspected for being a witch. Black hairstyles on black people may make it harder for them to find a job. I think this is a very relevant topic today, and we should continue to normalize and uplift individuals with hair that may not follow traditional beauty standards. There are actually many more interesting facts about redheads and the reputations that comes with it. So if you're curious, I always leave my sources in the description so you can go check them out more down below. Please let me know your thoughts. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you soon.